ICE is bad, but there's no better representation of American values right now than ISIS. And as an equal opportunity employer, we accept all levels of experience and education, from low to very low, and actively welcome those with diagnosed anger issues. Take it from me, no organization is better than ISIS.
Outrage tonight over that parody by comedian Michelle Wolf comparing ICE to ISIS terrorists. My panel is fired up, ready to battle, so let's get to it and see what they think. NRA TV contributor and former aide to Chuck Schumer, radio show host Chris Hahn joins me now. And Chris and Dan. Dan, I'll start with you. No, actually, no. Chris, I want to start with you. Was that too far?
You know, look, it's comedy, and you've got to give a wide berth to comedy. And, you know, as for, you know, the ICE agents, I don't know what they should be more upset about, this comedy skit or being ordered to take kids from their parents. They're probably more upset about the orders to take kids from their parents.
Dan?
You know, here we go, Judge. Every time Chris comes on every time and says things that are just factually incorrect, and he expects the whole audience to believe them because he worked for Senator Schumer. Nobody was ordered to take kids from their parents. This is fact time, folks, so we can put Chris aside and deal with reality now. There was a court decree called the Flores Consent Decree that determined, by the way, this has been in existence way before Donald Trump.
Chris, let him finish.
That we cannot hold kids for more than 10 days. Therefore, those kids, unless we want to keep them in custody, Judge, they can't be kept with their parents. Chris either doesn't know that or he's on the air lying to the audience again.
You know about the Flores decision, Chris. Yes or no?
I of course know about the Flores decision.
Yeah.
What's being done here right now is that the president has ordered all asylum seekers to be treated like criminals, and ICE agents are being forced to take children from their families. And one other thing, they don't even know where they put them because the Department of HHS had no system to track them. That's a problem in this country, and they've already failed to meet the court expectations to get them back together.
No, the court was very complimentary.
That's where the outrage needs to be.
You're wrong, Chris, but Dan, go right ahead.
Judge, it's exhausting having to come on your show every Saturday and debunk Chris. I'm glad you have him. I actually like Chris off the air, but on the air, he constantly says things that are,
and I do.
No, seriously, you are a great guy off the air. But on the air, he makes stuff up all the time, and he expects you to believe him. Judge, let's be crystal clear on this. These are not asylum seekers. The process for seeking asylum is to go to a port of entry. You will not be arrested if you do that. When you enter the country, this is fact time, between ports of entry, you have committed a crime. Therefore, you will be arrested and likely separated from your kids like any other criminal. See, Chris doesn't know that, or he does and he's lying again.
I do know that, and I also know that the president got rid of an Obama policy that would have allowed these people to seek asylum in their home country. He's also shortened the amount of people who are working at the border crossing, forcing these people into the desert.
All right, Chris, listen to me. Now you're saying the president, they can go to any port of entry and seek asylum, all right? Now, the ACLU, representing a whole bunch of them, said they weren't sure whether they wanted to seek asylum. They wanted a week to think about it after the parents and the kids were reunited. So if they all want to seek asylum, some of them reunited don't even want asylum. They said, oh, I'm not sure. I didn't come here looking for that. Yeah, go ahead.
They're being pressured in these court cases. They're being pressured when their kids are taken away from them. And of course, they should have time to think about their legal options.
No, their kids are back. If they came Chris, you said they came seeking asylum. If they came seeking asylum, when we reunite them, why do they have to think about whether they want asylum? Dan, hit it.
I think that
Judge, one thing Chris is leaving out of this as well, because it's always convenient to leave out the facts, which he has a really hard time with. Donald Trump signed an executive order asking his own DOJ to challenge the Flores consent decree, which happened before Donald Trump even took office. And the court said, no, Dice, it doesn't work that way. Meaning Donald Trump is actually trying to do something about this situation, whereas Chris comes on the channel every Saturday and just makes stuff up for propaganda
What he's trying to do, Dan, is hold children indefinitely in detention if they come here.
You know what, Chris, I'm not going to let you say that.
Let's be clear what's going on here.
All right, let's talk about Putin. Now we're totally off the facts,
by the way, but back to Michelle Wolf, clearly the outrage. Back to Michelle Wolf, clearly the outrage is more about the policy than the comedy.
Really? You like ICE agents being dressed up looking like they're about to chop your head off?
Chris is so insane right now. The camera guy's laughing in the room with me. That's how he's actually laughing behind me.
All right. At least we're all laughing. That's a good thing. No, I want to talk about the president. A lot of backlash from his meeting with Putin. What's your reaction, Dan, the meeting with Putin? I'll start with you this time.
Well, listen, Donald Trump, he made a verbal misstep. He acknowledged it the next day. He corrected it. But what Donald Trump, the way he always dunks on the liberals and the media, is Donald Trump makes a misstep. Let's say it's a 5 out of 10. So what does the media do? They react like it's a 9 out of 10. Nazi comparisons, Pearl Harbor comparisons. By the way, Judge, this really happened. This treasonous, kooky John Brennan who's lost his mind. So what happens? The next day, the argument becomes about the kooky media response and not a misstep by Trump that he corrected.
Okay,
and that's how he dunks on him every single time.
30 seconds. Chris, hit it.
The best thing you could say about Trump and Putin this week was that the president looked weak before Putin. That's the best thing you could say. As for the verbal misstep, nobody in America buys the wood versus wooden thing, and that was just part of the problem with that press conference. There was all sorts of problems there, plus the president sitting in a room alone with that dictator. What did he say? America has a right to know.
All right. Chris Hahn, Dan Bongino, thanks so much. I just want to say one thing. The president had 8 great days. One word was off. That's all the press talked about. Anyway, my closing statement, a message to Whoopi Goldberg, is still ahead. And next, the most outrageous statements of the week with special guest Candace Owens from Turning Point USA. Don't go away.
If you have moderate to severe plaque psoriasis or psoriatic arthritis, little things can be a big deal. That's why there's Otezla. Otezla is not an injection or a cream. It's a pill that treats differently. For psoriasis, 75% clearer skin is achievable with reduced redness, thickness, and scaliness of plaques. And for psoriatic arthritis, Otezla is proven to reduce joint swelling, tenderness, and pain. And the Otezla prescription